What's going on, YouTube? So, I made a video on the other channel titled NBA Teams Are Scared to Offer Long-Term Contracts. And I'm going to have to give a shout out to my OKC fans. This is a video that you guys probably aren't going to like, but this is a conversation that I think needs to be had. Now, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they just won the NBA Finals. They beat the Indiana Pacers in 7 games. And yeah, it was much deserved. They played hard, and they're going to have some tough decisions to make. Now, why do I say that? Well, you have this new CBA that has a second apron with a lot of restrictions. And the way this new CBA is structured is a team can draft well. For example, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Sam Presti did an amazing job, acquiring a bunch of those first-round picks. He used to be the talk of the of NBA Twitter, But teams that draft well are essentially going to have to make tough decisions, because if you draft well, if you have 2 to 3 players that are really good players, in this example, we have Shai SGA, who won Finals MVP and regular season MVP. He was all NBA first team. You have Jalen Williams, who was all NBA third team as well. So that's two all NBA players. And you have Chet Holmgren, who I do foresee him winning a couple of all NBA defensive teams. And I think he also made the All NBA rookie last year. But he's an up and coming star. And Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams are projected to get, over the next 5 years, $250 million. But let me let you guys listen to what I had to say in this video, because it's all involving the whole subject regarding the CBA, free agency, decisions for the 2022, in particular the 2022 rookie class. So check it out. What's going on, YouTube? So since the NBA introduced the salary cap aprons, the league's financial landscape has undergone a serious shakeup. But the real reason some teams are hitting the brakes on long-term contracts is not just about the aprons anymore. Sure, the first and second aprons, especially that second one, have forced teams to rethink how they build rosters, but that hasn't stopped franchises from going all in to stay competitive. Some are still willing to pay the price. But now there's another factor making front offices nervous, one that could impact both teams and players in a big way. So the league's projected salary cap for the 2026-27 season is now expected to rise to only 7%, and not the 10% many believed was basically a guarantee. And here's why that matters. A lot of players' contracts, especially extensions, are built with 8% annual salary increases. So if the cap isn't growing fast enough to keep up with those deals, teams can find themselves in a financial squeeze. And this has already started to impact the market for rookie-scale extensions from the 2022 draft class. And it's affecting negotiations with restricted free agents this summer as well. Take guys like Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams. These are 3 young stars expected to get massive extensions worth nearly $250 million over 5 years. But with the cap projection in question, teams may hesitate. Now I'm going to pause it right here to make a comment on that. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going to have to make a decision between Jalen Williams and Chet. Because you have to understand, players like Alex Caruso, Isaiah Hartenstein, these other players that they have, right? They're crucial to obviously their championship success. But with this new CBA, you have the first apron that has its own set of restrictions. You have the second apron that has the even more restrictions. Because of that, these restrictions hinders front offices from developing a championship caliber squad. So let's say they give Jalen and Chet the max. Where are they going to find the money to build the bench? You need 3-and-D guys. You need veterans. At some point, if OKC gives Jalen and Chet the max, It's going to be a bunch of young guys playing with a bunch of old guys. And you're not going to win a championship in today's league. It's a fast league. You need young, fresh legs. So it's all about roster construction. And I think the bottom line with this new collective bargaining agreement, the CBA, this is essentially to stop super teams from being a thing, right? And think about this. You have the first apron, right? And we're gonna go based on the cap for this past season. The cap was, I'm reading here, was about 141 million. That's how much teams can spend to build the rosters. Now you have the tax level that is at 170 million. You have the first apron that's 178 million, and you have the second apron that's 188 million. So if you have a first apron team, right, they can no longer sign bought out players who made more than a non-taxpayer mid-level. And don't worry about these terms. If you don't know what these terms are, that's fine. I'm only reading this to let you guys know the restrictions that the CBA puts on teams who are in the first apron. So they can't do that. They also can't take back any more salary than they sent out in trades, and they can't use trade exceptions that were created the season before. Now the second apron, that's the game changer, because in addition to those first apron restrictions I just spoke about, second apron teams can't use the mid-level exception. They can't trade multiple players in the same deal, and they can't sign and trade their own players to acquire other players. And they can't send out any cash in any trades. So, and finally, one more thing I just saw here. Teams above the second apron at the end of the regular season will have their first round draft pick 7 years out frozen so that it can't be used in any trades. Let me guys give you an example of the effect that this has done, right? Now think about this. Let me zoom in here. The Indiana Pacers didn't want to pay Miles Turner an additional $3 million. The news came out that he signed with the Bucks because the Pacers internally decided not to overpay for Miles Turner. Now, I'll say this. I feel like if Tyrese Halliburton hadn't torn his Achilles, unfortunately, in that Game 7, I still think Miles Turner will still be an Indiana Pacer. Miles Turner, who spent the better part of his entire career playing for the Indiana Pacers, the Indiana Pacers front office did not want to give him an additional $3 million. It was also reported that, if I can find it here, it was also reported that Miles Turner, part of the reason why this even happened was because Miles Turner, here it is here. He reportedly wanted the Pacers to pay him more, or at least the same amount that Naz Reid had. So recently, Naz Reid re-signed with the Timberwolves for $25 million annually. So Miles Turner was looking to get between $2 to $3 million additionally to his salary. And the Indiana Pacers said no. Tyrese Halliburton's out. We might as well do a soft rebuild and see what can happen in the following season after this one coming up, 2026-27 season. Now, the cap projection for the 2026-27 season, it was expected to be 10%, but now it's going to be 7%. It's looking to be 7%. And max extensions, players on max contracts who receive raises every year, the max raise I think is 8%, but the salary cap is only going to be 7%. So this is why deals like what you're seeing now are happening. And if you have teams that aren't willing to pay players who were, I mean, Miles Turner was a huge factor to the Indiana Pacers going to the finals. And his reward was, them telling him, I bid you adieu. You can go find your additional $3 million with the Bucks and play alongside Giannis. Now, why am I saying all this to you guys? Well, even though Draymond can be controversial, he's very smart. He also came out a couple of days ago saying why he doesn't think OKC can. I mean, he says that their best chance to win a championship again will be next year to repeat, but after that, they're gonna have a decision to make because you have three players now. Shy got his bag. I mean, he's Finals MVP. He was regular season MVP. He's the face of the Oklahoma City Thunder. He got his back. He's staying there, right? Jalen Williams, he had that 41 point game. I think it was like game 5 or game 6. Game 5 it was. I mean, you Oklahoma City fans, man, you guys are gonna be upset in like 2 years. But let's see what I'm gonna show. I'm gonna play here what Draymond had to say, and we'll speak on that. Fair use, by the way. This is fair use. I'm using this video to have a conversation. Shout out to the Draymond Green Show with Baron Davis. I am not taking your content. I'm just having a conversation with my what on my channel, and this is fair use. Fair use.
Agree. Our finals pedigree. They'll be back too, but the dynasty part is hard in this era. It's hard in this era because at some point, like you said, they're gonna be facing a hard cap, and they're gonna have to be highly strategic about how they shepherd in the old and the new.
I agree with you. I think, like you said, dynasties, I think it's just going to be tough, right? Like Caruso was big for this championship. Hardenstein was big. Lou Dort was big. When you start paying J-Dub to max and Chet max or near max,
That's what
all
I'm
those
saying.
guys you start to lose, and now got older guys playing with young guys.
That's exactly what we just spoke about, and it's so unfortunate because teams like the Golden State Warriors are the reason why this new CBA is even a thing. I mean, at one point, the Golden State Warriors were paying $44 million in luxury tax when they were the Steph Curry, KD, Golden State Warriors, the super team. This organization was going deep into the luxury tax because at that time, during that CBA agreement, I think there was only one apron. Right? They had restrictions, but it wasn't as restricted as this new CBA agreement is now. They were paying 44.8 million, something like that, in luxury tax just to retain that squad. And I think they were only 12 million above the cap. Think about that. They were only $12 million above the cap, and they were paying $44.4 million in luxury tax. But with this new CBA, and you have this second apron, there's so many restrictions. I mean, I'm not sure what's going to happen or what to make of this, but let's finish what they're saying.
It don't look the same,
Right.
So I think they're set up for success, for sure. But is it the start of a dynasty? Those things are hard to come by. You start talking about health. Everybody got to stay healthy. That drive and will, I don't doubt that that'll go anywhere. They got some young, hungry guys, but I think that can definitely play a part in it. And this CBA ain't really set up for that.
Now that the Thunder have won the title, you explained the window of.
Yeah, man. There was even an article that I found. Even Doc Rivers was speaking on this. So the headline, this is shout out to Basketball Network, by the way, on this. It says they're going to have, this is Doc Rivers. They are going to have to start paying guys. Doc Rivers breaks down why the OKC Thunder won't be able to keep this team together. The Oklahoma City Thunder have been an absolute juggernaut this season. Yada, yada, yada. However, according to veteran coach Doc Rivers, OKC can expect to experience some turbulent waters in the next few seasons as they make some tough decisions regarding their personnel and which players they can afford to retain. Money matters. The Thunder are poised to be one of the league's most dominant teams, yada, yada, yada. Alex Caruso is their third oldest player, yada, yada, yada. And this is their core. However, success in the NBA does not come cheap. With the new CBA and impending salary cap changes, the Thunder will have to navigate salary cap restrictions to keep their players together. And that's the biggest thing that I think we have to point to, right? Doc is familiar with this, having been coaching team exclusively and whatever. Team executive in 2000. This is Doc Rivers. I think this is Doc Rivers speak. Yeah, there we go. He was on Bill Simmons' podcast. It says they also have some things coming up. Max contracts, paying guys, and that whole challenge of sustaining a core. What Sam Presti has done is amazing when you think about it. He's done this without, Shai really at full playoff strength. But next year after this season or in a year, they're going to have to start paying guys. Excuse me, and all of a sudden they probably won't be as deep as they are now. So the whole point of this conversation is, where do you guys think OKC will go from? I mean, assuming they win a championship next year, which I think is their best chance. But let's say they do win a championship next year, or if they don't, they're still going to have to make the decision on who stays and who goes. Think about the old OKC Thunder in 2012 when they lost to the Miami Heat. In 2012, they chose Serge Ibaka over James Harden, which obviously was a horrible decision. James Harden ended up becoming a not finals, but MVP and one of the most dominant forces on the offensive end. So I want to know your guys' opinions on this topic specifically. I mean, we're going to see a lot of changes in this next upcoming season because the negotiations regarding max extensions, rookie extensions, stuff like that. It's going to be interesting to see, and I'll be surprised if you guys see some big blockbuster trades coming up in these next 2 years, because with this new CBA, man, anything is possible. I mean, for God's sake, the Bucks waived Damian Lillard, and they signed Miles Turner. I mean, this shit is crazy. But let me know what you guys think about this topic. The Oklahoma City Thunder are definitely going to have to make some tough decisions in the next couple of years, and we'll be here to talk about it if and when it does happen. Let me know what you guys think about that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the comments. And we're out. Peace.